Warning, this video is very intense, could be triggering, and it involves children. If you haven't been paying attention, Brad Pitt and his ex-wife, Angelina Jolie, have been divorced and for the last couple of years have also been suing each other over that stupid French chateau and vineyard. Well, there has been a big update in that case. And as you might also remember, so much of that is tied to what happened in 2016. The infamous, infuriating airplane incident where Brad Pitt allegedly assaulted Angelina Jolie and one of their children. He was never charged, and Angelina was very upset about that. And their kids have pretty much been done with dad since then. And even though Brad was not charged, all of their dirty laundry with regards to the airplane incident has played out in court in their barrage of legal filings. Because she believed he should be charged, and the FBI did not move that forward in any way. She eventually ended up dropping that, but the Chateau lawsuit continues. Throughout this all, Brad Pitt has denied any abuse. And Angie's legal team recently demanded that he release to her any private third-party communications made in the months following the incident. And now the judge in the case, the Chateau case, has ruled that Brad Pitt has to do this. That's huge, because these communications after the airplane incident might prove that he was guilty, that he did abuse Angelina and one of their children. This ruling was made on November the 25th by Judge Leah Martin, but it was just made public this week. There are so many layers to this, but Angelina's goal is to find proof that Brad was trying to force her to sign an NDA with regards to the chateau, but an overbearing NDA that would also prevent her from talking about what happened on the airplane. So what happened on the airplane? Well, for the first time ever, Angelina's legal filings alleging his abuse have leaked. I have not heard so much of these details before. Let's go back to September 14th, 2016. Brad, Angelina, and their 6 children, who were 8 to 15 at the time, had spent 2 weeks at the chateau and were flying back to Los Angeles on a private plane. And things were tense the whole time. Angelina's suit states, quote, Pitt's aggressive behavior started even before the family got to the airport, with Pitt having a confrontation with one of the children. Apparently, Brad had a business meeting the morning before the flight, and they met at the airport. According to Angelina's FBI interview from October 2016, Angelina said the family had split up into 2 cars to get from the terminal across the tarmac and to the plane. It was after that short drive that Angie could see there was some kind of problem between Brad and one of the children, believed to be Maddox. The earliest reports about this incident were always that Brad and Maddox had a fight. That was long before we heard any of these details. Angelina told investigators she came out of the car and saw Brad holding the child's arm and pointing. She asked what was wrong, to which Brad complained. She quoted him as saying, "That kid looks like an effing Columbine kid. You don't know what you're doing." Okay. According to the lawsuit, after the flight took off, Jolie approached Pitt and asked him what was wrong. Pitt accused her of being too deferential to the children and verbally attacked her. An hour and a half later, Pitt abruptly walked over to Jolie demanding, "Come here," and directed her to the back of the plane. He pulled her into the bathroom and began yelling at her. Pitt grabbed Jolie by the head and shook her, and then grabbed her shoulders and shook her again before pushing her into the bathroom wall. In her FBI interview, Angie quoted Brad as telling her, "You're effing up this family." Apparently, he thought Maddox was too macabre. She says he demanded about the unnamed child that they were gonna kill someone. Will you be happy then? He left her in the bathroom, she says, but not for long. Per the lawsuit, Pitt then punched the ceiling of the plane numerous times, prompting Jolie to leave the bathroom. As she exited, one of their children asked, "Are you okay, Mommy?" Pitt yelled back, "No, Mommy's not okay," and started deriding Jolie with insults. We've heard some bits and pieces of these allegations before, but never in full until now. In her FBI interview, Angelina says she went to hug the kids and Brad pushed her in front of them. Per the lawsuit, when one of the children verbally defended Jolie, Pitt lunged at his own child and Jolie grabbed him from behind to stop him. Per the FBI docs, the kid called Brad a prick. Apparently that set him off. And, quote, to get Jolie off his back, because Angelina was trying to separate Brad from the child, Pitt threw himself backwards into the airplane's seats, injuring Jolie's back and elbow. The children rushed in and all bravely tried to protect each other. Before it was over, Pitt choked one of the children and struck another in the face. So he was physically abusive, according to her, to more than one child. The lawsuit continues. Some of the children pleaded with Pitt to stop. They were all frightened. Many were crying. With nowhere to go and to avoid Pitt's wrath, Jolie and the children sat still and silent under blankets. Nobody dared to go to the bathroom. Pitt periodically emerged from the back of the plane to yell and swear at them. Angie told the FBI the intimidation kept going as he was, quote, watching the family in the reflection of a mirror on the wall. She elaborated that he would start up a new rant every 30 minutes and pace throughout the plane, yelling at everyone. So no one was ever able to relax. She told the federal investigators he would say things like, "You broke up your family. Wake up. You broke up your family. Congratulations." At one point, he poured beer on Jolie. At another, he poured beer and red wine on the children. Angie told the FBI the damages to the plane ended up costing $25,000, and she insists he had been drinking but was not drunk. Then he eventually fell asleep, and she arranged separate transportation once they landed in Los Angeles. Quote, she went to wake Pitt up and told him that she and the children were going to a hotel. Pitt then started screaming at her, "You're not taking my effing kids." After a child intervened and demanded to leave, Pitt finally relented, but once outside the plane door, Pitt again physically abused one of their children. He also grabbed and shook Jolie by the head and shoulders, causing one of the children to beg, "Don't hurt her." He let Jolie go, but then called her a bitch before adding, F you all. Then Jolie and the kids went to a hotel. Wow. I don't think she would make up all of that. And also there were people on the plane, the pilot, at least one flight attendant. I doubt she's lying. What do you think of this all? Let me know in the comments section. Wow.